Habit change is like changing jobs. The first week or two you manage to drive to the new location, no problems. Then one day your brain slips into the old mindset without telling you, and you arrive at your old workplace wondering what on earth happened. And this points out that habit change is easy when we first start on a new behaviour. And that's because we're focusing our thinking on each step in the thing that we're doing, like the new computer system at work. It's only once a new concept doesn't have to be in the forefront of your mind that we let go and the old programming takes over, meaning we drive home to the house that we just sold. Your average new attendee at the gym doesn't really have a problem turning up for the first few weeks. It's just that somewhere down the track they forget to go. And they forget so fully that it doesn't occur to them for a few days that they've actually missed the entire week. They're often shocked and dismayed that it could have so completely left their mind when they're so full of what the benefits of going to the gym were for them. Of course, many people fall into the next trap, and that's the one where they think, oh, I've blown it now, and they give up the gym altogether. It's like the person on a diet who manages to be sugar-free all week. Then one day they eat a piece of cake, maybe because it sat in front of them screaming, "Eat me," all during the morning tea break, or maybe because they were just feeling the need for the sugar hit. Regardless, they eat it and then they fall for the next trap. And you probably already know what I'm going to say because you've probably done it yourself. And yes, you are correct. They tell themselves that they've ruined the whole week, that it's become kind of like unrecoverable and that they might as well just eat a second piece of the cake. And tragically, the story isn't over yet because the next trap gets sprung when they say to themselves they have no willpower, that they're hopeless, that they should get used to being fat, that the diet wasn't working anyway, and they should just kind of get used to the whole idea of eating right is a fast for them. And hopefully, what I've described so far is that habit change is easy for a while, and then we get nailed by our own negative opinion about our inability to focus or concentrate or stick with anything. Most people don't get through that tough second phase because of a small piece of misunderstanding about themselves. Put simply, it's during that second phase where things are getting ugly that we need deeper insight. Whatever the sugar was doing for us, whatever emotional need was being met by the junk food, whatever ugly feelings were being suppressed by the cigarettes is now surfacing because the suppressing agent's been out of our body for long enough for it to raise its ugly head. We're normally unaware why this is happening, yet painfully aware that we feel like crap. And since our culture doesn't teach us how to deal with negative emotions, other than to shut them down or suppress them, we generally don't know what to do when it comes to them showing up unannounced and unexpected. It's not obvious to most people that bad habits are actually ways of dealing with emotions we find difficult to explain, let alone deal with, but that's the fundamental truth of it. Little wonder then that we deal with them like children. To summarise, when we start a new good habit, we're driven by the excitement and the newness of it. We go hammer and tongs for a while, but we've done little to prepare for the inevitable downer just around the corner that's precipitated by the absence of the substance or the activity that was keeping the ugly stuff below the surface. So, up it comes, and it's a surprise to no one except the owner. If it wasn't so tragic, it would be funny. We all know that our old mate Johnny will be going through extremely tough withdrawal when he keeps his promise to get off the smokes. We know he'll be grumpy, difficult to deal with, impossible to please, and just plain rude to anyone and everyone. We also already know that he thinks he's behaving normally when he's ripping the checkout chick a new one for being a bit slow. Obviously, the ciggies have kept a lid on his anger for some time. Equally obvious is that Johnny would do well to smack a punching bag around and relieve some of that pent-up garbage. It's no doubt been there for years, and he could certainly fly higher in life without that kind of baggage. But it's not normal for him to realise all of this. It's more usual that he just goes back to the fags and settles down, explaining to himself that it's only one vice after all, or that it's okay, his grandfather was a smoker who lived to be 103. Yet, if Johnny knew how to get uncomfortable and be comfortable, if we knew how to sit quietly with our awful feelings, if we knew we could survive our own rotten stuff, if we could be honest about our guilt or our shame, if we could admit our weaknesses without defining ourselves, if we didn't run from ourselves so often and so far, we would glide graciously through the part of habit change that stops 99% of people getting the breakthrough they desperately want and seriously need. It's a deceptively simple formula. Find the deep-seated emotion that's trying to get out of your system. It's not hard to find. It's showing up, and you just need to either sit still long enough to recognise it or ask your friends to tell you what it is that you're hiding from yourself. Then it's just a matter of realising that this feeling is not you. It doesn't actually define you. Yes, it's a real enough feeling, but it's not you. You're just experiencing it. If you calm down, tune into the observer that's been with you since you were born and watch all of your senses, it'll pass. It'll dissipate, releasing its grip on you. Then you get to choose what you want to feel. And that, my friends, is mastery, a prize far greater than the new habit, which is important but minor compared to who you become in the process. It's worth every minute of the struggle. And that's exactly what my 21-day habit change challenge is designed to do. If you'd like my framework for transforming any habit, register now. We're starting soon.